The way that foster care can be different than adoption is when children come into your home through foster care, we very rarely to just basically never have any idea which direction a court case is going to go. And so when kids come into foster care, reunification is the goal. And so as foster parents, we are also involved in biological parents' lives, but it may be in a role that's different. These children may return home to their biological families, and then we may be the ones that are kind of on the outside and being support to these children in their future lives. They may not necessarily disappear out of our homes after they've been reunified, but reunification is the goal. However, sometimes court cases go differently than we hope or expect, and occasionally children in foster care become available for adoption. And when that happens, what we're really hoping to see is that those children don't have to be moved, that those children are hopefully being adopted by the family that's been raising them the entire time. And so while a court case can last about a year, those children have formed bonds, they've become family to the foster parents and the foster family, and best case scenario is that that foster family will be adopting that child, they'll join that, and that's their permanency, and they never have to go anywhere. So children can come into foster care for a variety of reasons. The main reason that we see is here in Utah anyways, there is usually substance abuse issues. And so the parents are not caring for their children to a safe level, meaning a lot of neglect and are bringing the children into an unsafe environment. And so these kids are gonna need an extra level of protection, and that's when the state steps in and brings them into foster care. Kids are not coming into foster care due to their own actions or anything that they've done. It's their parents that have got stuff that they need to work on. So then the children come into foster care, and then the state helps the parents to work on the things that they need to work on in order to be reunified with the children. So I have experienced children placed into my home both at birth and then at a little bit older through foster care. And I myself found that I had a different level of attachment, at least initially, with children that came into my home a little bit older. And I would say that this is primarily due to the fact that when you have an infant, you are up in the night with them, you're holding them, you're cuddling them, and then as you help them to learn how to walk, there's all these happy moments, there's this clapping and enjoying, and even with a baby that may cry a lot, you still have a lot of bonding and attachment stuff. But when you have a 6-year-old walk into your home, you've missed out on a lot. And as an adoptive parent, I found a lot of guilt when I realized that I didn't have as strong of an attachment to this older child coming into my home. And I felt the difference, and I was very frustrated by that. What we did for our family, we did some family therapy. I did some individual therapy with this older individual in order for me to be able to feel the attachment that I wanted to feel with this child. I wanted to feel the same level of attachment with this child, this older child, as I did with the infants that had grown up in my home. And I found that it's possible, and we got to that level. It just took some time. So children who enter foster care have often experienced trauma, which is the reason why they're coming into foster care, because of the difficult experiences. Due to the trauma that they've experienced, they often have behavioral issues or just things that they're working through. A lot of these kids benefit from going to therapy. But also, these are just kids. These are kids like you would meet next door in your neighborhood, but they need to work through some things. And you're not gonna find that they are a danger to themselves or others. They just need a little bit of extra help. As parents, we put on our bigger parenting tool belt and we get some extra help, and we learn how to help these kids overcome their trauma. When there is danger in a child's life, or if a child doesn't feel safe due to the environment in their home, there are helps, there are supports. One of the things is to call an intake line. The Child Protective Services is always there to listen, and they can even take anonymous reports if somebody doesn't want to say where the report is coming from. But also, I'm not familiar with the resources across the state, but in Utah County, we have a place called Vantage Point where teenagers can just show up. Of course, and as always, kids that don't feel safe in their home should always talk to a trusted adult, a teacher, or another person in their life.